So, what if there's something you haven't learned yet that could change everything? Welcome, everyone. I'm Laura DeFranco, the CEO of Brave Healer Productions Publishing, where we are helping the world experience what's possible. And here today to help me with that mission is the lead author of one of our newest books. You guys, this one is called When People Rise: HR Secrets for Small Business Growth, Success, and Legacy. Welcome, Susan Mahaffee. What's happening?
Hi, Laura. How are you today?
I'm so excited about this book, Susan. So big,
Me
big,
too.
big gratitude to you. Listen, I don't even know that you knew what you were signing up for when we first talked about doing this HR book. Like, what the heck is this? But I am so glad you said yes to this. This book has had such big energy in me from the beginning of our talks, and this is just the beginning as we launch this book. You guys, let me tell you a little bit about Susan before we get into our juicy conversation today. Susan Mahaffee is the president and founder of People Rise, a certified woman-owned HR consulting and leadership advisory firm that partners with small to mid-sized businesses, entrepreneurs, and family-owned organizations. With more than 2 decades of experience in HR leadership, executive coaching, and organizational strategy, Susan helps leaders navigate the people moments that shape culture, trust, and long-term success. So, Susan, tell me your why for this book.
Yeah, thanks, Laura. My why for this book is pretty simple. I believe that everyone should love going to work. And instead, I feel like we have come to a place where so many people dread it. And when I reflected on my own journey and those that I coach and those that I work with all the time, I realized that we needed to have something that made people feel like they were validated, that how they feel exists and it's okay. And then also, how do we try to help provide something for folks to feel like I'm not alone, and there's different ways to look at everyday workplace issues or challenges or opportunities, and so much of it usually is, um, it's just life, right? It takes time, it takes a lot of things before you feel like you come into your own. And so I think this book really allows people to feel like we can talk about work, which is not something that we always talk about freely or easily.
I love the focus on, like, we can talk about work, you guys. It's okay.
Yes.
Like letting people relax a little bit. You guys, there's so much to talk about today, but I just don't want to forget to share the cover with you all. So I'm going to share it here and let you look at this beautiful cover. Shout out to Dino Marino for designing this beautiful book. Inside and Out, When People Rise, HR Secrets for Small Business Growth, Success, and Legacy. Hey, books are a legacy business, right? Like, this is big potato stuff to us over here. What do you think is the most important thing you want people to know about HR?
I think the people who went into HR, we joined it because we want to make things better. And candidly, a lot of people, when you tell them that you work in HR, most people, I'll say, they kind of cringe and they're like, "Ooh." And that's something that I really want to change. I think it's headed in that direction, but part of that is understanding that this is around wanting to make workplaces better, and understanding it's not just paperwork, it's not hiring and firing. This is about the people business. This is around wanting people to feel like they're supported, that they can do their best. And Laura, I would say this too: how people feel at work and how they feel at home, and their so personal and professional, these things have to coexist together. And when you feel like you're at your best at work and you feel like you're at your best at home, those two things converge and it's just like magic. And so the ability for people to also not take a back seat, everyone is part of this. And I think that's the last chapter in this book, the invitation to rise, that says, look, no matter what job you're in, no matter what role you're in. You don't have to be called the leader, manager, supervisor, boss, whatever. You don't have to be. You just have to be a person who cares enough that you see opportunity and I want to see different ways of looking at things. And so I think everyone is in the HR business.
I feel like if we ask somebody, what do you do? And they say, I work in HR, instead of the cringe response, it should be, wow, thank you so much for doing right. Like it should be a thank you. It should not be a cringe or whatever. Oh my gosh. Okay. So, you aren't alone in this amazing collaboration. You have some co authors, experts in this field in many different parts of HR across this book. It's a phenomenal expert author cast. My thank you to you, co authors. Thank you so much for saying yes, for grabbing Susan's hand and saying, yeah, we're going to tell these stories and we're going to teach our master tools and our master teachings to you readers, right? I have a just big gratitude for them. And I know you have a message of gratitude for your co-authors.
Absolutely, Laura. The folks that said yes to this, the co-authors that said yes, I, it's hard to even put into words because I'm so grateful. Not only did they come to the table with excitement, but they delivered some amazing words and tools that are far beyond anything I could have even expected. And I am so appreciative that they also, that you, my co-authors, said, Susan, I'm alongside you for this journey, that you said yes. That's the visionary, I think, in these co-authors. They saw it, they saw the opportunity, and they want to be part of this, what we're talking about too, this road and this movement to making workplaces better. And these are folks, some folks will tell you, I'm not an HR professional. I'm a small business owner. I own a payroll business. I work in financial literacy and planning. And every person though interacts one way or the other with the workforce and with everyday people. And this is what I also think we created. I just saw it somewhere else written, like this is like a love letter to people saying, we see you, we hear you, and we've delivered that. And so again, I'm just so grateful for what we put together.
One of the biggest things I learned from you and this book is that you can't be too small as a business to think about HR. And I had some aha moments throughout the book. Your authors taught me so much, and my company is running better because of it. So, first of all, thank you. But tell me more about what small businesses need to understand about HR. In before I was just thinking big companies. I wasn't thinking of my little old self with my small team.
Yeah, well, Laura, many of the co-authors, many of us have worked in large businesses. We have worked for Fortune 500, 150, companies. Many of us have that background. So we do know what big HR can look like. But we all see such a huge opportunity in, small business makes up a huge majority of our economy and our world today, right? And we recognize that when you also own a small business, small or mid-size, whichever size business you're in, you have so many opportunities to make a difference in how people feel, how people show up, and how they think. And I also say that, when we're kids, school is where we learn. For the adult learner, it's work. And so when we're at work, this is an opportunity for us to explore, to think, to talk, and to see things in a different type of way. And so I think that our co-authors have done an amazing job of saying, look, here are things that you can do in small snippets. Like these are like small little pieces of gems. And I like to say, using the pirate learning mentality, which is come and take the gems you want and leave the other things you don't see value in, right? So every chapter is going to give you, one of my co-authors talks about how having a clean closet can really impact, and even a clean workspace space. And I've been thinking about that this entire journey because it does. And so these are sometimes things that, just are like, wow, that makes a lot of sense. I just hadn't thought of it. being able to be presented with it, I think allows you to think differently and more creatively. And I think that's also where we've kind of lost our way. I like to say that sometimes we've lost our way with compliance and documents and all this kind of, like, that stuff's important, but we need to, people have always been the strategy and the heart of what makes our businesses grow, be successful. And I think this is what this book aims to do, is give you a little treat. I mean, each chapter probably takes you 15, 20 minutes to just read it, digest it. And then that tool at the end is like a gift. And so imagine being able to then also take that with you the next day and try it out with your team or your company. So no matter what size you are, you can extrapolate it and make it what you want.
I mean, it's awesome to have a great coach to help you do things better. But you guys, imagine having a couple of dozen coaches and all their master tool in your hands. Like,
Yes.
yes, it's this book. It's a miracle. People are going to love, love, love this book. So you have a lot going on aside from the book, Susan. Like, tell us what's going on in your world and how people work with you. And yeah, what do you got going on?
Thanks, Laura. So the way people can work with me is a couple different ways. So I'm excited we have the Employee Help Desk, which is our podcast series. And I like to say, who doesn't like a good HR story, people's story, right? So we just talk about, different things that, anyone who, again, is in work, whether you're a business owner, HR pro, or just somebody who cares about work, there's something in there for you. And we make these, nice and short and punchy. So we have our podcast. Obviously, we have this book. And I have a number of things that are going to continue to come out this year. So we have a partner program with People Rise, where our clients who decide, hey, we love what you're doing, we follow that, we want to work with you on a more close basis. We work with people on an annual basis to kind of put your workplace together as far as your not only compliance, I'll say that, but we strategize, we meet, and we talk about the things that are impacting and help you really think through, okay, how can I continue to grow my business? So we also have our masterclass. We have a couple signature programs as well, and a few new offers, Laura, that are coming out simultaneously with the book on purpose, where we really want to be able to bring people together. Because one of the most important things I've seen with People Rise and this book is that people want community. It can feel lonely and it can feel like I'm not sure. By bringing people together who are like-minded and also are, again, have the responsibility for others, bringing people together and doing that in coaching and other group learning settings has been a really big focus for us.
Susan, what's the message you want to leave us today with about this topic?
Oh, it's a great question. The message I would leave for everybody, with everybody today, is just, you don't have to accept the status quo or the everyday at work. You can be part of the solution and you can be part of thinking creatively. I think that's the key word. Think creatively, think differently, and challenge yourself to think about ordinary things in a different, creative, and curious way. And that's what this book helps you do too.
Susan Mahaffee, thank you so much for what you do in the world. And
Thanks,
thank you for
Laura.
being here today to share it. You guys, I hope you heard it and felt it. This is way more than a book. It's a generous community. So if you're listening to Susan today talk about all of the different aspects of this topic and you're getting the goosebumps or something is resonating, come on down into the show notes because she's hooked up with her websites, the podcast, all the good things. You can click and explore all of what she is up to in the world. And of course, we hope that you go grab your copy of this book. So you'll find the Amazon link down below for that. Let us know how you like it. And lastly, today, everyone, remember, your words change the world when you're brave enough to share them. So it is time to be brave. See you next time, everyone.